Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm a Chapter 7, Chapter 13 bankruptcy attorney here in the Atlanta area. And today I'd like to walk you through our process, kind of pull back the curtain so you can see how I prepare a bankruptcy case and why I need all the information I'm requesting. So typically when you call me or call Susan Bloom in my office, we will direct you to this page here, Bankruptcy Worksheet. Which is our website that basically has our information about preparing and filing for bankruptcy. This is the front page of it. And really what I've done with this site is just put all the essentials. So I would direct you to the new client intake, the full intake package, and you would then download our bankruptcy questionnaire, which kind of looks like this. This is what it looks like now. Obviously, 2018 is going to change a little bit because some of the data we'll need will be different. But you'll see it's pretty comprehensive. I mean, it's 28 pages, a lot of information. And that's a pain. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Preparing this and getting this ready to file is going to take you some time. So this is one reason why when you are getting ready to file bankruptcy, you don't want to wait until literally the wolves are at the door. So once you fill that out and send it to me, I'm going to go to my bankruptcy program, which is called Best Case Bankruptcy. This is a program that I use to generate cases, and this is a new install, so I just got this one case. It's a sample, so there's no personal information being revealed here. And what I would do is I would go to the case, I'd create a new case, and I've already put some information in here, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure I've got everything I need. And you'll see here that the program basically allows us to have information about our clients, the social security number, phone numbers, things like that, employer, case status, is it ready to file, has it been filed, you can see a drop down, client setup, and some of the stuff we use, some of the stuff we don't. This is something we would use, which is a list of all the documents I'm going to need. And you can see it is pretty comprehensive. I'm going to need bank and other financial information statements, car loan statements, certificate of credit counseling, collection letters, student loan information. I mean, you can see it's a pretty large variety, and that's because bankruptcy petitions now can be 75, 80, 100 pages. They ask for a lot of information, and quite honestly, I've been doing this for over 25 years. Back when I started doing this in the 1990s, we didn't need all this information. It was basically, much simpler. Nobody really cared about all this stuff. They assumed good faith. Maybe that was misplaced a little bit, but I think the bankruptcy cases worked back then. It's gotten a lot more complicated, a lot more expensive. So this is just the world we live in. Now, what I'm going to do for this video, and I'm going to have subsequent ones, but this one I'm just going to go through the voluntary petition and statement of financial affairs. You can see there's a bunch of different schedules here. We're going to go through all these, but I don't want to make this video an hour, so we're going to make this fairly quick. So voluntary petition basically is where I'm going to put your name, and in this case it's a joint case. This is a sample Chapter 13. Joseph Wayne Sample, how it's indexed, social security number, the address, county, and so forth. Now, if Mr. Sample had another name, I would put that there. So let's just say for his wife, she had another name formerly known as Sarah Lynn Smith. So that's where I'd put that. And again, the reason why this is important is when you go to your bankruptcy hearing, they will expect, if you have used different names, that you reveal that. And sometimes your ID may even show that. So if you're going to come to court and you have to have two forms of ID with a driver's license or a passport or a social security card in a prior name, that prior name needs to be listed here. So if Sarah, in our example here, is Sarah Sample now, but her social security card showed it in the name of Sarah Smith, we need to make sure we list that, because if we don't, the trustees are going to object and make us fix that. So this is, again, one of the things I'm going to ask for, but it's something you need to be aware of to make sure that you provide all the names that you've ever used, including nicknames. So, for example, if Joseph Smith here has a nickname of Buddy, I would put that in here as Buddy Smith, because some of the bills may be in that name. Following information, this is going to be a joint consumer Chapter 13. he has resided in Georgia for 180 days. If they had not been here for 180 days, that's important because we may not be able to file in this district. So again, I need to know Georgia uses the Georgia exemptions, and that's what you can protect in bankruptcy, so we'd list that there. And again, we're in the jurisdiction of the Northern District of Georgia. If the samples lived in Athens, we would be in the Middle District of Georgia, and that's a whole different situation. So this is Northern District. Now, credit counseling is one of these things that I do ask about over here. In fact, I've got a link here to a number of different credit counseling services. I keep this updated, and you can see there's a bunch of different ones here, and they range in price. This one's $9.76. This one's $20. So you can choose whatever credit counseling service you want, and that needs to come back to me, but we need to make sure we put that in. Now, what happens is we've got to show that it's been completed in the 180-day period prior to filing. So let's just say in this example, I'm recording this in November of 2017. Joseph Sample got his credit counseling in October 2017, 32 days ago. He has 148 days to file. No problem. Now, Sarah, on the other hand, she got her counseling in 2016. Maybe she was thinking about filing back then. That expired. It's only good for 180 days. So having a credit counseling certificate needs to be within 180 days. So if you got one a couple years ago, that's not going to be good. So let's just fix that. Now we are okay. We're ready to go on that. And again, if you've got a business, if you have something else going on, we put that there. But for the most part, most of the time, it's not going to be. If you had a prior case in the last 8 years, we've got to reveal that. So again, if you have previously filed bankruptcy, make sure to let your lawyer know, because the trustee will certainly check. And if you've not revealed that, that's a problem. And I would say just in general, it's really important to reveal pretty much everything. You certainly want to tell your lawyer. There are some things, obviously, that are going to be too old. So if they had filed bankruptcy 20 years ago, that's not something we need to worry about. But the last 8 years, yes, we do. So again, make sure to tell your lawyer. Some of this is going to be done automatically. It's going to calculate things for us. So that's the voluntary petition part, and that will generate the petition that we're going to need to actually file bankruptcy. The second thing I want to talk about today is called the Statement of Financial Affairs. This, again, is why we need all this information. So you can see there's 28 questions here. Current marital status, prior addresses in the last 3 years. So again, if you've lived someplace within the last 3 years, you need to reveal that here. Again, I'm not sure why they want this, other than to make sure that if maybe you had property that you previously owned, or a creditor was using another address, that would be revealed there. This is where we have to list income for the past 3 years, the current year and the last 2 years. So we put that in here. Current year, gross income, not net, gross income. This is from wages. If it's a business operation, then we figure the business expenses come off the top. So in this case, I have Joseph has income from wages, whereas Sarah has income from Social Security. I'm just saying she's disabled, so we would put Social Security benefits here, and her income per month, gross income per month, or actually this would be done by year. So in this case, it should be done by year. So let's say let's just make it $9,000. That should actually be. We'll change that, and we'll make that $9,000 as well. And this is why we go over this, because again, easy to make a mistake there. So we've got $9,000 in Social Security. Trustees are going to look at that, because if they see a huge change, so for example, let's say Joseph had earned $81,000 in 2015 and 16, and then 2017 his income is now at $20,000. That's going to jump out. What happened? Was he unemployed? Did he get a new job? But we're going to need to know. By the same token, if his income was $20,000, it jumped up to $81,000. What's that all about? That's a question the trustee would ask you at the 341 hearing. Here's where we have to list payments to creditors. And the reason why this is important is if you've made payments to creditors outside the ordinary course of business, that can be called a preference. So anything you've made is a regular payment like to a mortgage company, that's okay. But let's say in this case he paid Sam, his brother Sam, $9,000 on April 1, still owes $10,000. That's a problem because you can't pay an insider, your brother, and then not use that money to pay creditors. So that's more of a problem in Chapter 7, but that's something that the trustee has the power to go to Sam, the brother, and say, I want that money back for the benefit of the bankruptcy estate. Here's where you would list gifts, losses from theft, fire. I don't see that very much, but again, if it happened, you want it there. Payments for bankruptcy, this is where you'd list what you've paid your attorney. In this case, he would have paid me $600 plus the $310 filing fee, when he paid it, the total amount of payment. Obviously, this is something that's going to depend on how much you pay your lawyer. And then here we've got other issues or other questions about self-settled trust, closed accounts, safe deposit boxes, which does come up, by the way. So if you have a safe deposit box, you want to reveal that. Property held for another person. This could be a situation where somebody is holding a vehicle or furniture for you, but it's an asset and it needs to be revealed because it needs to be on your Schedule B, which is going to be, we're going to talk about in a different video about all your assets. Some of these things were added recently about hazardous material and environmental law. It doesn't apply. I've never had it apply any sort of judicial proceeding. This is something actually that does pop up because if you are being sued by somebody, that's going to be up here, lawsuits. So if you've been sued by somebody, that's where you'd put that, the name of the party in the lawsuit. And then if you're in business, there are going to be some other questions you would ask if you owned a business. So that's the statement of financial affairs. And again, we're going to go through what it all looks like at the end. But you can see there's a lot of information. We've been at this for about 10 minutes, and I've just gone through the first small parts of it, so there's a lot of things we need to know. So this is going to wrap up this video about getting your bankruptcy started, the voluntary petition, statement of financial affairs, what it looks like on my end, and why you need to have all this information gathered and available for your attorney. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up on YouTube, like it on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page. If you have any questions, reach out to me at my phone number, 770-393-4985. And until next time, I will see you in the next video where I'm going to go through the Schedule A, B, C, D, all these other schedules, and the means test as well, which is something that people get confused about. So I will see you soon. Thanks a lot.